Are you listening?
Whoa, hello. Look, it's the tortoise big face right now. We might be having people drop it in the near future of today, but for now, we got Super Fast Tortoise. What's up? Hi, it's me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I think you're all being awesome. Think you're all doing great. Let's say hi to people in chat. Right now we got Rich Dubs. What's up? D Lawson. Yo. Yeah, Hillbilly can be here today. He's has important things going on in the background. And we got a heavy topic today. A heavy topic. Yes. So, the topic of today is I'm coming back swinging. Yes, I'm coming back swinging with a lot going on in my brain. See, as you know, a lot of us know that I was on vacation for a week, and I did not waste my time on vacation, even though I did have a relaxing time with the wife and was chilling, being cool. Then I was watching YouTube content, especially a lot of YouTube content going around in the community. Man, and I realized there's a lot of things that need to happen. A lot of things. Yes. Sorry, my brain is trying to get back into the swing of doing the show. I kind of got lazy. Coffee is good. It's nice, warm, chocolatey. Oh, yeah. So delicious. Love it. I hope the coffee you're having today or whatever drink you might be having at the moment is what you need in the morning to wake up, to feel good, to feel amazing. So the topic today is come back swinging, right? And if you read the description, it says the show needs improvement. Other shows need improvement. We need more experience. We need to see the reality of the details. We need the passion back in our show. We need the love for Magic to grow. We need reachability. I need progression in Magic the Gathering and on YouTube. Let's get real, gritty, and bold. All right, hold on. We got 2 people in the lineups. Boom. There's a cookie dude. And Pete's Packs. Oh, dude.
Hey.
The beard, the hair, the everything.
Hello.
Nice. Like when I've heard your voice on all your videos I've watched, nothing said, "Hey, this dude's gonna look this cool."
Yeah, I've got live streams up too.
Nice.
It's the only way to see my face.
I don't know why I haven't gotten notifications for that particular, because I'd definitely try to get on a live stream.
Oh, because I haven't live streamed in like 2 months.
That's fine, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah. Thank you. I thought I was gonna be alone in this world today. This world.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Forever alone.
That's fine. Man, so like I said, I've been watching a lot of YouTube and draining my brain on YouTube content, and been stretching a bit out of Magic the Gathering and some into Magic. You know, a lot of reports about Wizards stock going down, which I thought was hilarious. Because, you know, people are talking crap on them all the time, and they finally got some validation on their end. And at the same time, I'm like, Wizards loves what they do. They know what they're doing. They got a plan. They must have a plan.
Well, so the bigger issue isn't really Wizards themselves. It's Hasbro.
Mhm.
Wizards is their only profitable property at the moment.
Right.
Even D&D is currently losing them money, largely because of the mass exodus after the OGL decision.
Ah.
But yeah, that Transformers has been in the tank. My Little Pony, since the most recent generation that they moved to, has absolutely been in the tank.
Mhm.
All their big properties just aren't making the money because they keep doing these cash grabs one
Oh,
after
yeah.
the other, and it's burnt all the goodwill that they had with their customers.
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah. Especially on the Transformers end, I can tell you, I have not been too impressed. I mean, they did the Beast Wars thing again, which got me excited because I was like able to collect some toys. Then they like I don't know how to say it. They basically remade
Mhm.
2 toys that were not very sought after toys in the toy line. One was
Yep.
like this bug tracks thing that just basically flips into a ball, and that's basically what it does to transform. And this dog, and I'm like, why would I want to spend money on that?
Yep. Where are the old good ones? The Jaguar and the Wolf, and I forget what the other really good. What was it? An Eagle was
Mhm.
one of the other ones from Beast Wars. I remember watching Beast Wars like in the early 2000s, late 90s, something like that. And
Right.
the toys were awesome,
Oh yeah.
but they never really had enough supply for them, and you couldn't find them anywhere, at least locally. And
Mhm.
then the last time they did a reprint of them, they reprinted the really rare ones absolutely into the ground, and you couldn't find the more common ones. So anyone getting into the hobby didn't really have a chance either. So
Right.
it was messy.
Oh yeah. Like when they redid the Beast Wars line, I was wondering where the hell Rhinox was. I'm like,
Yep.
Rhinox needed, like, he was a hard one to get as a youngster. I'm like, where was he? And he's one of the ones that had like all the cool pieces, you know. But the OGL thing you were mentioning before, that did not sully well for Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro. And like someone said, you're going to give documents that are full of rules and context to people who read nothing but documents and rules and context,
Yeah.
and expect them.
You'd think we were all lawyers.
Right. Well, that's how people treat the game of Magic and D&D. It's just the only difference is the people who play D&D have, like, I swear for D&D, there is more of a hardcore solid base because people not only get involved with the game, they read the game, they understand the game. Where with Magic the Gathering, there's many different layers to get into the game, play the game, and enjoy the game. So there's more of a solid foundation of D&D players who fit the same line, mind, thought, and process. Where Magic the Gathering, it differs because not everybody likes to play Commander, not everybody likes to play Modern, not everybody, you know. There's all these different realms to get into. Where D&D is kind of a straight line. You just find a hook that you want. Like, for example, I play D&D, and I'm playing a turtle from the D&D Beyond series. That's a wizard, and you know, it's been a learning curve for me because I haven't played D&D, like real D&D, my entire life. I've always played like some knockoff up just for fun. But here I'm following rules and context, having to read books, have this app that's like called the Grimoire, where you can search up spells and levels of spells. You know, there's a lot of devotion to the game that I think was overstepped when GL came out with their thing.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's actually a mistake that they've made before. They did the same thing with 4th edition, and they wondered why 4th edition didn't sell well. It got super unpopular because of that same decision. In fact, that's what led to the genesis of one of their biggest competitors, which is Pathfinder. It was because people were angry over the open gaming license change in 4th edition. That 4th edition rules were just kind of janky and poorly put together. So they're like, screw this, we're gonna make our own D&D, you know, with what's the the Bender joke with hookers and blow.
Right.
I'm gonna make my own D&D. Have all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff.
Hello, Mrs. Hillbilly. Richie Dubs. You haven't played D&D in like 40 years? Oof. A long time. But no,
Okay.
it's good. It's the positive behind this is the fan bases and players are showing what they want, which was one of the things I've been basically preaching about for a while. And like the player and fan bases, once they rally up and basically, in other words I can't think of,
Voting with their
boycott.
wallets.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way, because boycott's the only word I was thinking of. Vote with the wallets is the only way Wizards and Hasbro will improve. But we're talking about a company like Hasbro who solely makes money off reprinting things, remaking things. Like, how many versions of Monopoly or updated versions of Monopoly do we really need? You know?
Well, so their biggest problem is that it's cheaper to reprint things, and their existence isn't. They don't exist to put out a good game. They exist to make money for their shareholders, and because we live in late stage capitalism with shareholder capitalism, it becomes more beneficial to them to do that, and in some cases they're legally required to do that. Which, I mean, they do have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders, but they're chasing the short-term benefits instead of long-term benefits. If they can justify, if we do these moves, then long-term we'll have more growth for our shareholders, then they could do it that way. But that takes a lot more work. And
a monk. Hello.
It doesn't doesn't really get them stuff right now, which is what they want. They want to see quarter over quarter growth. Line go up good, line go down bad.
Right. No, and I understand, and I get that. And sometimes they do hit gold, like when
like when they bought Magic.
Right. Oh, from the vault, man. I got a From the Vault Angels over here. That's going to be part of an auction later on, because I got a shield for myself later.
Nice.
I saw that you opened up a Vault Angels not too long ago.
Yeah, that was I think Monday.
Yeah.
And then there was a From the Vault 20 yesterday to line up with my partner and I's 10th anniversary. Oddly enough, I bought that From the Vault the week before we got married.
So jealous, was it? Vault 20, Vault Lore, and Vault Angels were my favorite.
Yeah. I also did a Vault Annihilation. I have a Vault Transform somewhere, and I just can't find it.
Somewhere.
And I've got a Vault Artifacts, I think it was. I have each of the vaults. I just don't know where I put the other ones.
Well, I'm assuming you'll find it.
Yeah, eventually. Probably not this week to continue the series, but eventually that'll all go out.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't have to pump out the series. Just remember, if you haven't, put them in a playlist.
I do. I do have a playlist for them. I get a little anal retentive about making playlists for every topic. So like some videos will end up in like 6 different playlists.
Right, I get that. I did that a lot too. Like, I used to put everything in like 3 different playlists, but now I try to keep it succinct. Like my MTG3 videos, I put them in MTG3 videos. But like my Ravnica guild combo ones I've been working on, I'm putting them in their own playlist, and sometimes in the most popular. That's a playlist.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I have a set of guild kits that I'm planning to do sometime around the 1-year mark for the channel, which is in 2 weeks from today.
Well, here's some brain processing thoughts. In the beginning of next year, we're getting Ravnica Remastered. That'd probably be a perfect time to do those.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I also have a long-running series that I started last Christmas, which is I open a throwback product that is similar to what I got the first time I ever got Magic for Christmas, which was in 4th edition.
Right.
So I've got sealed Japanese 4th edition starter decks.
Ooh,
And try to spot remember the names of all the cards.
that's fancy.
They have crept up in price over the last couple of years. When I got them, I snagged them for about $100 a piece, like 8 or 9 years ago now, and just shoved them in a closet. Now they're, last I looked, they were like $400 or $500 a piece, which is crazy. Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, hold on a second.
I've also had my eye on some Korean 4th edition. Been trying to complete a playset of Korean 4th edition for like 10 years now.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, like,
it's all
like, I personally can't really keep alternate language cards myself because I can't read them and it bugs me. Like I have a Phyrexian language Ajani that bugs me only because I can't read it.
But I have a photographic memory, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to remember what they are.
Right, I used to have a really good memory for that kind of stuff. All right, hold on one second. How are you doing, Daddy-O's?
I'm okay. Just I have no knowledge of the subject, so I mean, I know what you're talking about. It's like anything else. I mean, Hasbro is a corporation, and they got to make money. They're not there to just make cards and make their their customers happy, which is part of it. But if they don't make their chairman of the to make their, I can't remember what you just said it.
The shareholders.
The board, the shareholders. Yes. If they don't make them happy, then everything might go bye-bye.
Yep.
Well, one of the I see with the logistics is every year for a business to be healthy and to grow, they need to make more money than they did the year before.
Yep.
And substantially, that can't happen very well. That can't happen very well without any consequences. So when we see these price increases and price products just jump up a little, it scares people. But at the same time, where are you going to give or are you going to give a take? You can't always increase the prices of products, right? But then at the same time,
increase volume.
Right. If you increase volume, that might work. But you actually got to sell something people want.
Well, that's the thing. You're running into the supply-demand price curve at that point. If you don't increase prices, you have to drive demand. To drive demand, you have to have things that people want. So you can increase sales in a number of ways by either increasing your volume, increasing your price and maintaining volume, or increasing your price enough that it counteracts the loss in volume. So they've been going with the third option, which ultimately is the worst one for long-term growth, but the best one for short-term growth.
That is very true.
So if they struck a balance or actually lowered their prices and increased volume, then they would have better long-term growth, because they're pricing a lot of people out of the game, which is like you're no longer building the crazy people like myself or Tortoise or any number of players that have been playing for 30. I've been playing Magic for 30 years, and thinking of how my life would look without Magic isn't something that I really want to think about. But also, I spent almost $40,000 on Magic last year just to keep up with things. That's crazy. And that's just as a collector.
Right?
That's not sustainable.
No, it's not. Especially for, like, I'm not going to pretend I know your life, your budgeting, your job. I'm not going to pretend that. But what I am going to say is, for someone who pays bills, wants to live a regular life,
That's
likes
a lot
to go
of
out
money.
to eat dinner. Yeah, he likes to go grocery shopping, which is already expensive. You know, that's a lot of money to dump. And you just hit a milestone on the show. Manamonk said he just gave you your 500th subscriber, Mr. Pax.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
Which reminds me, I'm so busy, I haven't been able to get with you on the logo design. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I've been crazy busy with work too. The only reason I have time today is I took this week off for my anniversary.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
How many years?
10 years together.
Yeah,
That's about the same
Ooh.
time with my wife. Yeah, that's
that's a
awesome.
good one.
We dated for 13 before we got married, but
Well,
Hey,
congratulations on that.
that's pretty cool.
Congratulations on your 10-year anniversary.
well, thank you.
That's a milestone.
Well, that's
It's
pretty
been,
awesome, though.
It's been a
Yeah,
wild and crazy
yeah.
ride.
Yeah. Well,
Like with my wife and I, we were together for 2 years, then we got engaged, then we were engaged for 2 years, and we finally got married.
yeah. Finally. Finally. Well, I just celebrated my 25th anniversary.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's because you got the good
It's hard
looks.
for me to believe. Thank you.
That's because you got the good looks in the family.
So Hasbro is the owner of Wizards, right?
Pretty
Yes.
much, yeah.
They own Wizards of the Coast, correct?
They own Wizards, and so, but they were in a lot of other things. I mean, other than Magic and Wizards, I mean, they have their tentacles in other areas.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yes.
is it
primarily
profitable?
board games.
Yeah, it's profitable for them to, to make the Magic. I mean, if they sell Magic cards for $10 a piece, which I know they don't, but is that pricing somebody out?
Actually, some cards they do sell for more than that. There are secret layers that have less than 3, or that have 3 or fewer cards in them.
Mm-hmm.
The foil versions of those secret layers, the per unit price per card is going to be higher than $10.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because the base price for those secret layers are $30 for the standard and then $40 for the foil. They've had multiple secret layers that only had 3 cards in them, so that's $13.33 per card before
Wow.
tax.
I want to say congratulations, Manamonk, on your 23 years married, 27 years together. Woo-woo.
Woohoo.
Oh, there's a comment tab. I was trying to figure out where the chat was coming from.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So,
I
relax.
got some bacon for you.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon shreds.
I got vegan safe coffee.
Vegan safe.
Isn't coffee already vegan?
Well, you could add creamer.
Aren't most creamers made from like vegetable shortening?
I have no clue. I mean, there's dairy creamer and there's non-dairy creamer. So, but like, no, I'm not vegan. I just said it to sound impressive.
Yeah, been funny.
Are you a store owner, Pete?
I am not. I am an individual collector.
Ooh. Dropping that dough like it's serious heat.
I do own a small investment share in a store, but I'm not a store owner on my own, and I do not get distributor pricing, unfortunately. Yes, there are creamers that are made from effectively Crisco, generally hydrogenated oils.
Yeah.
Coffee Mate would be an example of that. Most non-dairy creamers would be created from an emulsified fat of some kind.
Woo, woo. Look at me putting up fists. I'm just excited. But it literally was killing me not going live for a week.
Wow, it was hard.
Oh man. Well, so the wife's schedule really didn't change. So I was awake during times she was sleeping where I'd normally be live. So I was awake, doing nothing effectively for a couple hours.
Yeah, I get into kind of a loop sometimes where it's hard for me to stream because I work basically 9 to 6, and then I'm making videos from like 6 to 10, and by the time I'm done with those, I'm pretty tired. So.
Right? No, you're good. You're good. Now I'm gonna say easing back into the topic things, because I want to feel like I come back swinging, and we've been having a fire conversation, actually, pretty fire. Like, if I was a teenager, I'd probably say it was lit. Even though I still use that word, and I'm not a teenager, it's because I have children who occupy the house who use that word. What I was talking about is like I said, I've been watching YouTube content, and some of it extreme, like completely extreme compared to what we do here, and some of it and some of it more tamed. And as you watch more videos, those videos of how to improve your channel pop up, which I think half of them are BS, and they're only there for the views. Because like I watched a bunch of them, and some of them are just repeating what someone else, and some of them are just someone else's opinion on what someone else said, which brings me back to what's been bothering me the most with the Magic community in general. Now, when I say community, I'm not just talking about the community we've created with DJ and Dual Brain and stuff. I'm talking about with bigger communities, different communities. It feels like people are just rehashing over and over and over again the same stuff all the time. Like, someone gets on a train, they trail it, and they don't want to be unique. They just want to expand upon what they think is what we do, which is what the show does in general. Because like most of the topics that come up is with topics on the day. Like today, I came up with the topic today, even though I've had this in the back of my mind for a couple days. I made the topic for sure today. And I'm like, well, this topic we've treaded before, but differently. Then with but usually when I create a topic, it's based on a topic people have already had opinions about that they shared on different shows. So for people to come in and not have an opinion about the topic would be farce. It's kind of like a fail-safe, Hello. Oh, TCG dude says, I thought you had Gandalf as a guest, but I was wrong. Just joking.
Oddly enough, that is my nickname at work.
Nice. Gandalf the Grey. One day you'll be Gandalf the White and have like superpowers. Super.
I'm getting pretty close there.
All I can say is you wear it well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I'm pretty conceited, and I think I wear myself well. But when I look at you, I'm like, that dude knows what he's doing. And that's as being as asymmetrical as possible. I
went to the grocery store early this morning to pick up some stuff for dinner, and one of the managers thought I was homeless.
Did you not do your hair or something before then?
I hadn't brushed my hair yet. I hadn't gotten coffee or energy drink really yet, and just threw on a jacket and was in with. I normally wear sandals when I go out. So,
sandals. Wow.
I was like halfway awake.
Halfway awake.
You kind of look like the Wolfman, the radio personality from the
Wolfman Jack.
Yeah. Kind of look like him.
I get that from some of my family members every now and then.
Nice.
You have a good voice. You can probably do radio.
Well, thank you. I've got the face for radio.
Yeah. Wolfman Jack.
Face for radio. No, you're a handsome dude. All right. So we're going to go to define the topic. Whew, this is deserved. Oh, look at that!
Boom.
Got some
That's an
super
exciting
cool
intro.
I know. So there's this website called panzoid.com, and back in the 2000s, it was like the program to use for intros and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Now it's like kind of shoved to the side, and some of it's a learning curve. Like I do not know the site at all, but like I know enough to edit some of the videos and clips to say what I want to say. But that's where I made the 3 intros for the shows off that website, and like works out pretty well. Then I added YouTube safe music to it because it comes with its own music that will monetize your channel.
Yep.
So some sweet editing. So the topic we're defining today is like I said, like you asked earlier what the topic today. I said, well, it sounds kind of vague, but it'll be easier to understand as we get into it. And it's because really the topic is more about growing and what are good ways to grow with the channel. And I don't want to just put that because I don't want people to think I'm a YouTube channel trying to teach people how to YouTube. No, this is one of those mile marker shows where we get together, we hang out, we get this special cool guest and wanted to show up. Like if I knew this, like when I made the thumbnail, I would have definitely worked like my magic with AI to make a character look like you. It'd be like special guest. I'd do that later. Varying how much points I have left on my AI creation thing. But still.
It's funny. I work with AI on the back end almost every day, and I never use it.
Well, it's really a good way. Like it's for me, it's a time saver on doing graphics.
Yep. It seems like it would be a good force multiplier.
And that's what it's like. I wake up in the mornings, I make a pot of coffee, I sit down and work on like a thumbnail because like I got a generic thumbnail that was AI generated eventually. Like because like there's ways you can work with it to expand upon it. But AI generation made that. Then I made it like a basic thumbnail where I could just add something to the thumbnail every time. And for those days I want to be real creative, I can just start a fresh thumbnail from scratch on AI generation. And the cool thing about it is sometimes it might look weird, but the quality always looks great.
Yeah, you do have some pretty fantastic thumbnails.
Thank you. That's one of the things I've worked on for a while, honing down.
I am genuinely awful with thumbnails. I take a zoomed in picture of whatever I'm opening that day, and that's it. Which there's definitely room for improvement there.
All right. So, like I said, the point, because I have to step into discuss the topic. But like, yeah, we're just talking about growing the channel in different ways by showing our observations, which we're not showing, but talking about observations we've seen. And with that, and it's so easy to just get lost in topics. We're gonna. Oh no, where are you going? My mouse. Woo!
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. I
think we are getting chided by the intros.
I get excited every time. All right. Oh, let me get back to comments. Comments over here. Whoa. All right, Dawson. I'm learning just listening to you guys and guests. Nice. That's awesome. So, see you, Prime. Sorry if I missed you leaving. I've been off the chat side for a bit. Mena Monk says, nothing wrong with the zoomed in photo. That's the tactic I use as well. Right. There's nothing wrong with having the focus of the thumbnail being the topic of the thumbnail. There's always ways to improve, but nothing wrong with staying on topic. And while I'm doing that, I'm trying to look for a particular chord. Yeah, because That's not it. Because my mouse is deciding to spit out on me.
Uh-oh.
Like this is my mouse. I haven't charged it. This thing lasts for like a week and a half, and I always forget when it needs to be charged. It's a
That's
pen
not
mouse.
good.
Well, it's not dying. It's not a bad thing. It's just saying it needs to be charged. Well, it's not horrible right now. But let's get back to the topic things. Even though we had a fire punch. I mean, that whole Hasbro topic was insane. But well, there are two types of people on YouTube. There's people who just jibber jabber and talk out of their butt, and sometimes that's me, no lying. And there are people who are full of value and have validating thoughts and knowledge to back it up, and that makes value even better. And that's like what Pete did. Like if he wasn't paying attention, like he was adding value where value was. Like he didn't even know he's adding value, because value is when you bring something learnable, knowledgeable, and also draw people in. That's the value of YouTube right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of value, I'm about to drop Hasbro's Form 10. I think it's their 10Q form.
Yeah.
Yeah, their 10Q earnings report form into chat, so everyone can see what that looks like.
That sounds spicy.
Yeah, it's the form.
That's something I don't really know how to look up myself.
So by law, since they're a publicly traded company, they have to provide their investor documents, and you can find that at investor.hasbro.com.
Nice.
And apparently, I don't have access to drop links into chat.
No, you're good. Type something in chat really quick. Like just type something. It could be ABC. There you go. There we go. Go to boom. There you go. Just wait a minute and you'll get a prompt saying you are now a moderator.
What?
I'm a moderator. No. Sorry, I created you a command. And then I didn't think that he has a moderator.
There we go.
There you go. But boom. Boom. Look at that spiciness. Thank you very much. For those who want to look it up. That is very awesome, knowledgeable stuff to know. And you know what I should do?
Yeah, that goes over their consolidated balance sheets for Q3 2023.
I was definitely going to share this, but that's a lot of text. I'd have to go slow. No. Right,
it's very dry. I would not recommend going over it. It's one of those things that you really want to like dig into, not on camera.
All right, but first of all, it is past the half mark in the show, so I got to present screen, share screen, window, bing, woo-wee! Here we go. You want to get some sweet dice bags, dice boxes, Magic the Gathering, fun, homemade, awesome, high quality product. You should go consider checking out Aartopia.com for some of your new sweet Magic the Gathering swag. You can get a Super Fast Tortoise Dice bag. You can get an MTG Hillbilly Dice bag. You can get a Prime Pro 6 Games Dice bag. But most importantly, something customized, you can get something customized for yourself. Go check out Aartopia.com for some sweet swag. Aartopia.com and treasures. All right, there you go. Obligatory shill. I don't mind doing it. I love doing it. So wow, that was awesome. The sharing the link and everything. Oh, that was amazing. And I glanced over it really quick. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot to go through. Texas is small, but that's pretty crazy that you can get your hands on that information and read that.
Well, it's required by law that they provide that since it is a publicly traded company. You can do the same thing for any other publicly traded company. It's just always a lot to dig into.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I doubt. I know someone who probably looks into it a lot and goes crazy. Probably wants to know what's going on and people who understand it. Yeah. Sorry, my brain.
Your brain.
Overly hyped, overly excited.
Hey, let's get excited. Discuss the topic.
That's what I get into. So, as I'm dressed here, this lowly man in a hoodie, ball cap, which I don't know why I'm wearing a ball cap because I can wear the hoodie, you know. So I said so a lot, and I said like, and I did. It's because I'm improvising on the spot. There's a lot of repetitiveness going out in the community, and a lot of people who think Hasbro is going to listen to them. You know, that's one of the things going on. And there's this weird love-hate relationship. I think that's killing the community and content right now. So while I was on my vacation, I typed up this poem. And I'm not going to go through the entire poem because it's a long poem. But basically, the thing I wanted to bring back from this from certain people is that people in general are building toxic relationships or building a toxic relationship with WotC. And it could be vice versa, varying how you feel about it. But one thing that's come to me is I like to express that having a relationship with Magic the Gathering is kind of a living ordeal because you live it, you breathe it, you drop money into it, and you kind of invest and you kind of live in it, right? Like there's a connection, there's like an unspoken promise there that you'd be like, I'll be there for you when you need my help, or you know, I want to be part of your life for the rest of your life. But you know, love language, it's usually the most fruitful sounding when it's fresh and young, but it really gets deep when you get old and you take care of each other and show each other emotional support more often. Weird analogy, but the analogy I hit on in this weird poem was, I'm going to ask a weird question. All right. How would it feel if you went to your wife, your husband, your significant other, whoever, and you basically told them, hey, I love you for what you used to be, but I don't love you for what you are now. And what kind of toxicity would that build in your relationship? All right.
It wouldn't be good.
I'm pretty sure that's the opening line to the follow-up sentence of "I would like a divorce."
Right. And so that was a super deep dive into the idea of it going into, because we kind of have this relationship built, and the way people are treating Hasbro is in the same language, the same love language or the divorce language that people are doing. But the difference between divorce and the difference between Magic the Gathering is, if you want to divorce a wife or your husband or whoever, you will end up getting a sour relationship, breaking apart and walking away. For some reason, the way people are treating Magic the Gathering is they have this sour relationship, but they don't want to quit it. And that's
Well, I have a thought.
What's up?
Okay, you guys are talking about Hasbro,
Right.
and as Pete said, it's a publicly traded company.
Right.
So if you want to make changes in the company, wouldn't it be wise to invest in the company, and that way you have a say of what they do? I mean, you have to invest a lot, not just $100, but maybe the
Right.
group
You
of
have to get a good amount of
Magic
shares for
people
that.
who
You'd have to have quite a few shares.
Right.
Let's see what Hasbro's market cap is. So generally, to really make a big impact on a publicly traded company like that, you would need about 20% of the investors to align on it. Hasbro currently has a market cap of $6.42 billion. They're currently trading at $46.26 a share. So if we what is 20% of 6.42 billion?
Wow, it's 600. Probably. I'm trying to do the math in my head.
That is 1.28 billion.
1.28 billion that a person would have to, or a group would have to invest in to
at the
make
current
a
share
change.
price. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lawson says, time for a GoFundMe page. Right. So,
Hey, we just need one billionaire that really likes
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
right.
That's
So,
it. Right.
my analogy is not supplanting the idea that this is the exact truth of everything.
Yep.
It's just when you look at a movie poster, basically, this is kind of what it's showing. You know, this is the topic. This is how we feel about the topic. And the one reason why people are making such a fuss about this is because they care so much about the company. You know, you care about your loved ones, you care about the company, and for some reason, one has more personal interest than the other, which should, in other ways, like, you know, you should be invested into your family the best way you can be with your family more than a company. Hence why I've previously said in different statements is if WotC is to make bad decisions and close down, you got to let them make bad decisions and close down. You owe them nothing.
Well,
no matter how much you love
so the issue too isn't necessarily that we're invested in the company as players. We're invested in the game. I don't care who owns Magic broadly.
Right.
Like that doesn't affect my interaction with Magic. That doesn't affect my day to day. Most people, when Hasbro acquired Wizards of the Coast, most people had no idea. Because that was like 7 years ago now at this point. But the relationship we have with the game is what's important there, and it feels almost. The thing that I've run into is it feels like there's a third party in the relationship that's poisoning it. And I think that's why people get so upset.
Oh, no doubt. I can completely follow that line of thought too. And there is a lot going into it because, like we've discussed before, is Wizards of the Coast had this lining in a bottle, was able to maintain it for years without interruption or any other people jumping in. And without any interruption, meaning without other companies, because there was the reserve list that was made in the beginning, pretty much. That's interruption. That's by the fan. That along. Hold on. Sorry.
I wasn't laughing at you. One of the comments was just so good.
Yeah. My magic girlfriend has a magic boyfriend that lets me sit at the big boy table on Wednesdays. Nice. You know, so what I'm getting at, because I like, to be honest, I don't want to divulge in all the negativity that we're discussing. I'm just trying to use what I'm saying as what it feels like watching all this bad content, in quotes. Like, this bad content is people regurgitating the same negative feelings over and over again.
Yep.
You know, some of the best content I watched are people who act like they don't care about what's going on. You know, people, like watching some of your videos to be exact. You know, you open up product, you talk about product, and you're like, hey, look at this. This is cool. You know, no, and personally, there's no drama needed. I watch some people do deck techs just because they want to show a deck tech. No drama needed. And what I want to get on and hone in on is the content. The quality of content has shifted, and the negativity has been driving down a lot of force. Now, news is news. If Watsy or Hasbro does something that has to be talked about, should be talked about, talk about it.
Yep.
Don't linger on it. There's no need to linger on it. People, if they want to go back, can watch your video over and over again. Which is one of the things I've been stressing about is rewatching on these lives, which, man, rewatchability's sometimes tough. Like I've gone back to, like during this week, I went back to a couple lives of mine. I'm like, some of them are barely tolerable to rewatch because, like one of the best things about doing a live like this is your interaction with chat. When you're watching our live again and you can't interact, but you see people are interacting with chat, it's a different story, and me coming out swinging and saying, hey, we need something different. We need something better, because like one of the things I try to be is very transparent. Like even with all my mental issues and stuff, I try to be transparent, and I try to be very, very open because one, I'm not going to be perfect, and I'm not going to know everything at all. Like, I'm not going to know all the things. That's why I like having guests, because guests have different opinions, different of mine, and I love being adverse more than hearing myself echo several times, or I like being corrected if I'm not corrected, because I like learning and understanding I could be wrong. But one thing I do not like is being an echo chamber. And I try not to be an echo chamber. And usually we're not echo chambers. That's what a lot of people find refreshing about the show. Sorry, I got to read this comment.
That's actually what I was going to bring up about the Magic community as a whole, especially the Magic communities from, like, coming off of Twitter and Reddit and, to a lesser extent, YouTube. There's a huge issue with echo chambers of people getting angry and then making themselves more angry and just feeding into that feedback loop.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a game we're supposed to be having fun.
Yeah. That's,
I mean,
straight.
Granted, there are some people that are involved in it that their goal isn't to play the game or have fun with the game. Specifically like the investor community, which I don't particularly care for, even though I'm technically part of it.
Hello, Omega.
At the end of the day, it's a game, not like we shouldn't be thinking of it like stocks, but some people do.
Right. Look, so one thing I like to repeat myself on because we have this community. In this community, we have people say Magic the Gathering is a collectible card game. They're not game pieces. And we got people saying they're game pieces. They're not collectible. They're not collectible. And I'm in the middle of saying they're both game pieces and they're collectible. Because
they are inherently game pieces. I mean that is what they are. But they are also to a degree collectible. And then there's periphery around them that are collectible. For instance, artist proofs. You can't play with artist proofs. I mean, you could in Commander, but that's because Commander's not a sanctioned format, so it's not. It doesn't really matter. You can play with Post-its if you really want to. But those are strictly collectibles. But the core game pieces are both collectible and game pieces, so you can't really force them into one or the other.
What I'm saying though is, like, they're both game pieces and they're collectible. Like, even at 10 cents a card, it doesn't change the fact that you can collect them.
Right.
And with the rule of standard letting you play with up to 4 different copies, you can collect 4 different copies. You can collect up to 100 different copies. It is collectible by nature. But it does. But collectability does not supplant and guarantee value of a certain thing. It just means it's collectible. Now, value is nice in the end if you get something worth value. And hey, if that's the case, do what you will with it. Like usually when I get something worth value, I like to use it for trade fodder unless I have it in a deck. You know what I'm saying?
There's also a secondary issue there, which is availability and limited resource. For instance, the reserve list. There is a finite amount of the things that are on the reserve list. Only so many people can potentially own a copy of them, and then where you run into trouble is where you end up with a couple of wealthy individuals buying up all of them, driving up the price of them, making it inaccessible to others.
Oh, I got something collectible. I'd love to show off. Some of you will look at me like that's stupid, but it's collectible, and it's not worth money.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna grab something that I have that is also very collectible.
All right.
Okay.
All right, wait for you to get back.
I got nothing collectible. I got a record that's collectible.
You got records, you got cassette tapes, you got 8 tracks, you got all forms of media in that house.
I do. Yeah. It's only collectible, like you said, if it's only valuable and collectible if the person or persons that you're showing it to think it is. I mean, I could have a record that I think is worth, $5, but if I want to sell it, some might want to buy it for $1.
Yeah,
you know.
That's when you decide to hold on to it till someone actually buys it.
Yep. Yeah, so that's when you hold on to it, and eventually someone will buy it for what you want.
Well,
happens on eBay all the time. I just let it sit.
It's only worth whatever anyone's willing to pay for it.
That is very true.
That's
very
right.
true. So I'm gonna before you show off your thing, I'm gonna blow myself up and show you off my thing because I think it's just darn awesome. But it's stupid collectible because not everybody's collecting it. But IHOP is selling pancakes for Magic the Gathering.
Did you really swipe one of their sides?
I actually asked them for this sign, and they gave it to me.
Oh, I should do that.
But look, it is legitimate collectability that might not be worth money, but to me, I didn't order any of the pancakes, but I sit down, the waitress comes by and says, "You see that sign over there?" She's like, "Yeah." So, "Do you have an extra I can take home?" They're like, "Yeah, we do." And I'm like, "Can I get one?" She's like, "Yeah." And she got a nice tip that night.
Nice.
And
nice.
For those who want to scan the QR code, knock yourself out. And if you really want to know what's on the backside, it's more menu. I hop you out. All right, let me blow because I know Pete wants to show some stuff. You're muted.
Okay.
So we all know how ridiculous some reserve list cards have gotten.
Right.
I also play Legacy and Vintage very heavily.
Nice.
They're my 2 favorite formats. But one of the decks that I keep put together for my partner to play is Legacy Elves, because she doesn't play Legacy very often, and when she wants to play something that's fun.
Right.
Not necessarily super competitive, but fun.
Right.
So I've got 2 playsets of Gaia's Cradles.
Nice.
One for her to have a playset in her deck, and one extra in case I am also running Legacy Elves. But I was also a judge for several years.
Ooh.
So I've got a playset of Judge Foil ones.
Wow. That's pretty spicy.
And then I've got another playset of Judge Foil ones.
Ooh.
Do I need 4 playsets of Gaia's Cradle? No, I don't.
No, but It doesn't hurt. for being a judge, that came in good value for you later on. Just sitting on pretty, that's what you're doing.
Well, it's not even that. It's I've forgotten that I have them half the time. But overall, I've got 4 sets of Gaia's cradles.
Yeah.
Nobody needs 16 Gaia's cradles.
No, not really, unless you're running that many decks.
I know 2 different investors that have over 4,000 each of them.
Jeez.
Oh, geez. Wow.
And that's
Lots
solely
of
to,
things.
and that
4,000
was solely to drive up the price of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was a big issue.
These judge foils went from $150 to about $400 almost overnight because of those 2 individuals.
Right.
And Commander picked up in popularity. Now these are what, 1,400 a piece, something like that.
Right, the foils. Yeah. They're huge.
The regular ones are
Right.
like 700 a piece, even in pretty beat up shape.
Oh yeah. I
That's
think the cheapest one I've seen lately was like $450-ish for like a played one.
Do you know why I'm so hard against? I'm vehemently against the reserve list, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm heavily invested in reserve list cards because I've been playing for so long. I've got power. I don't care if they reprint power. I don't care. I want them to reprint Gaia's Cradle because I love playing Legacy. I don't care that these things that this is worth it. That these 2 playsets are worth more than my car. That's silly to me. That is genuinely silly.
It is silly, but at the moment, just like what I say to people, it's worth money. Just enjoy the time you have it worth money. Like I said before, if I have something that's worth money and I don't plan on using it, it's strictly for trades. Yeah, I'm going to trade for it. If I have something that's worth money, I'm going to try for trades because I personally like to have an inflow of cards coming in when I can, and I like to try to build up a collection of cards I want. So this not all the cards I want are worth buku bucks. So if I personally have something worth buku bucks, I'll trade it. Like when I pulled the foil etched Jeweled Lotus, I tried trading that straight off, and I ended up needing a new controller, so I ended up trading a Switch Pro controller. I'm like, why not? If it's worth that much, it's worth that much. And with that, we're going to step into the next top thing. I know. Open forum. This is the part where we start winding down, chilling out, and just talking about. Man, this has been a really good show. Like, I wish Hillbilly was here to enjoy it because he usually is here to enjoy it, but he's doing something important in the background. I do not know or am fully aware of what's going on in the background, but if he explains it to me, he will. He's just busy at the moment. That's all. For sure.
He's doing an interpretive dance.
Interpretive dance, that's right. He's making some moonshine. He has to bottle it up today.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Wow, what an interesting show. There's a lot about Hasbro I didn't know, but
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to get into. Like one of the issues I see a lot with people discussing Hasbro and discussing Wizards of the Coast is, for example, I do not know everything about business, especially big business, and I do not know all the details, and I do not know how the sausage is made. Right, and I don't pretend to know I know how the sausage is made. But we got all these people out there who act like they know how the sausage is made and know the right direction to things. And people genuinely come up with like one-shot ideas that are like momentary fixes maybe to a problem, but really don't fix a problem, and that's not a real solution. Yep. And I do not know all the problems, but I believe Wizards of the Coast is going to do what's best for their company, even if it looks unfavorable to us. Now, what is best for the company? I don't know. And maybe they're trying to figure that out too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they know what's best for the company is to have at the end of the year have them in the black. You know,
I think they're going to do what's best for quarterly profits because that's what their fiduciary duty is. I don't necessarily think it's the best for the long-term health of the company.
Right.
Because
Well,
we've seen them work directly against their own self-interest for long term for short-term growth because they have an incentive structure that incentivizes short-term growth over long-term growth.
Oh yeah, I was having a conversation with my friend Bob, and I said the unhealthiest thing I'm seeing Wizards do at the moment, and like I said, we don't know what's happening in the background. The most unsure thing they're doing at the moment is it looks like they're trying to float on the new player base to buy new product more than they are worried about the long term base. Now we know they've been kind of shoving the long players aside, but at the same time they'll do something like bring Ravnica back. Now I'm excited for Ravnica, the remastered set, but that's just me personally, and I'm probably a small amount of people who want that because like there's nothing super profitable about that set, like when it comes to like money value wise. I mean, there's the Shocklands, there's a few cards in the set.
It's going to be a wildly profitable set. Every Ravnica set has been.
No, I'm saying
there's not going to be a lot of value in it. That's going to be wildly profitable.
Yeah. And people tell you, and when people tell you, it sounds like it's repeating. Just engage with the product you want to engage with. Just do that. Just do that. Seriously, they said it. Do it. If you like I'm engaged with what I can with Caverns of Ixalan for those Jurassic Park cards. But what really will show is if you'll engage with the stuff you really want to engage with. If you're just a few people who want to engage with it, the profits of people who don't want to engage with it will show them, and hopefully they'll learn from it.
See, the problem with that though is that that's not what Magic has been about for so long. And also that attitude tends to cause communities to fracture and then ultimately collapse because you end up segmenting your community so much that you don't get big action across the community.
All right. So,
what that starts to do is it tends to get people that are really heavy investors to be super loud, and then that's all that gets catered to, which is part of the problem that we've been running into. If you make Magic for everyone, it grows more.
Which is funny because when we tell people to vote with their wallets, saying what I'm saying is exactly saying that, just in a different way.
Sort of.
Right?
It's another side of it, but it's not exactly the same. Engaging with Magic as you want to is a little different than voting with your wallet. Because there are some things where we don't really have an option but to engage with things. For instance, the Lord of the Rings cards. Those have taken over Modern and taken over Legacy at this point. If you chose not to engage with them, well, you're not playing competitive Modern or competitive Legacy anymore.
Right.
So,
or you weren't.
Yeah.
It's like the one card that's the multiple format all-star right now is Bowmasters.
Bowmasters and the One Ring have completely warped multiple formats.
Right.
The One Ring has also warped Vintage. Bowmasters has had a little less of an impact in Vintage, but Legacy and Modern are both completely warped around them.
And the amount of Lord of the Rings packs I've bought has been 0.
I bought a fair amount partially because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but also for content for the channel, and I also didn't really have a choice because Store Championships, which I ended up taking my Store Championships with a Bowmaster, oddly enough, was Lord of the Rings draft.
No, and that's perfectly fine. That's you engaging with it the way you want to. At the same time, I understand wanting to go into the tournament forced your hand in a way to keep competitive.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I didn't want to draft Lord of the Rings. I would have much rather it had been standard, which is what it had been, for the last 10 years that we've been doing Store Championships. but I was forced to engage with it because it was Lord of the Rings draft, because I wanted to take part in the store championships.
Right.
So I also lucked out in pack 3, picked one Bowmasters after already being in black white, but
About Flumph was not in Lord of the Rings, right?
Flumph was not in Lord of the Rings. No, that was in.
No, I know. I said too bad it wasn't.
Oh no, that would have been awful.
All right.
It was bad. It was bad enough that we had Bowmaster.
See you later, Daddy-O.
All right. Nice meeting you, Pete.
Nice meeting you too.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later, Daddy-O.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. No, so I understand, like, you wanted, the reason why you felt forced to go in that direction was to play in the tournament. And I understand that because I used to be a heavy standard player back in the day. And if I wanted to compete or play, I got to stay with the standard decks, which was the draw to Commander back in the day for me back in the day. All right. Back in the day, if I wanted not to focus on a set and not care about what was the new hot deal, I'd play Commander and just play Commander for a bit because you didn't have to care about the new product, which unfortunately Wizards decided to change their game plan for that because now they made it where we have to kind of watch every set that comes out.
Yes, which is another problem that we're running into with that. I remember when Commander products were once every other year, and that was great. Now I feel like I have to engage with Commander products even though I don't play Commander because of the impact that they have on Legacy and Vintage. So as a result, I end up having to buy 4 of every Commander product that comes out, which sucks. Like, both financially and from just the amount of stuff that I have to churn through because of that.
No doubt. Oh, no, I get that.
Ultimately, if I could choose not to engage with Commander products, I wouldn't, because I don't play Commander. It's just not a format that's fun to me. If I want to play Singleton, Canadian Highlander, I feel is a superior Singleton format.
Well, it is, because the amount of cards you're able to play in that format is just ridiculous compared to regular Commander.
Well, I mean, it's got the same banned and restricted list as regular Commander, but you don't have a Commander to lean on, and you don't have to stay within a given color identity. It's just 60 card Singleton, which also includes basics. Like, basics are also Singletons.
The person who tried to get me into Elder Canadian Highlander totally explained that wrong to me, because they're like, it's like Commander but no ban list.
Well, sort of. It's like Commander, but there's no Commander, and it's 60 cards, and everything is Singleton. Even cards that say you can have more than 1 copy of it, or more than 4 copies, those are still Singleton restricted as well. Nice. At least that's the Canadian Highlander rules that I've been playing with for the last 25 years.
Right. No, that's perfect. Because he was trying to talk me into it. I'm like, I can build a card for my cube or deck for my cube. So I would love to play Recurring Nightmare in a deck.
Is Recurring Nightmare banned in Commander?
Oh yeah, it's one of those cards I think can be banned right now, but it's banned.
That's shocking. I don't know. I don't understand why that would be banned.
Well, it was banned originally for some infinite combo, but I think the power level shifted so much it can be unbanned. I believe, I could be wrong, but I think
there's so many infinite combos in Commander. Why even bother?
Right? I think the power level shifted so much in Commander that I think Primeval Titan can be unbanned too.
Oh yeah, if you're getting to 6 mana in Commander, and you can't already win, what are you doing? Especially in green. Survival of the fittest isn't banned, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was curious why Survival of the Fittest jumped up to $300 last year, or the year before last, when it was only legal in Vintage as a single. It's restricted in Vintage and it's banned in Legacy. So it's what? And then it's oh yeah, Commander.
Commander exists. There was a time when Commander was the premier cheap format to play, Now it's one of the main things having up prices.
Well, it's
Like
the thing
right now-
that they're pushing.
No, you're right. It is what they're pushing because it became the flagship format to play for new players, which makes sense because it was the friendliest format originally to get into. Friendly, loose rules, loose restrictions. Now it's more competitive and a lot different.
Well, even beyond the competitive stuff, there are interactions that you run into in Commander that are not new player friendly whatsoever. Right. So it doesn't feel like a great introductory format. And I also contest whether or not it's the most played format. I know that's the common line at this point, but from what I've observed, it's still 60 card table, kitchen table magic. At least among the people that I know. I also know a lot of people that don't like Commander. So.
I cannot agree to that for my own view from my side. That might be different via the area you live in.
So I also live in a very competitive area.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's one of those things where, like, on my side, they're like, you got spell table. Like, people play test modern and legacy on spell table, but it's mainly a commander driven space. Then here, most of the F&Ms are standard or commander nowadays with modern events every once in a while. So based on my area, I can't agree to what you're saying, but your area could be definitely different.
Yeah. So in the area that I'm in, we have a commander night. We have maybe 6 people show up, and then for our F&M, we do standard, modern, and pioneer. Pioneer hasn't been firing quite as much lately, but we generally have between 12 and 25 people in both modern and standard every week. And like, you'll have maybe one table of commander that's playing off to the side on Fridays, and then on our dedicated commander day, there's maybe 5 or 6 people that show up on that. So it's a lot less. We're also not a commander focused shop.
Right.
And we have a lot of people that are pretty consistent tournament grinders.
Oh yeah.
But
no, and it makes sense because whatever's healthiest for your area is what they're gonna go for. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but there are a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I have a commander deck, but I'd rather be playing modern, or I'd rather be playing pioneer or standard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I preferably would love to play more cube on my end.
Oh, we do have a cube group it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I love cube.
There's 6 of us that are pretty consistent. It's kind of hard to find the 7th and 8th sometimes. Sometimes I kind of have to drag my wife to play cube with us. She's like, I hate draft. Like, yeah, but this isn't draft. This is cube.
Like,
what's the rest of the name? Cube draft.
But yeah, well, like my cube, we will we'll cube draft, or we'll make commander decks out of them. It's a huge cube.
How big's your cube?
720.
1200?
1200. It's no, it's not. I never heard of a 1200 cube, but if there is, God bless your soul. It's 726 cards, I believe.
Yeah, my pauper cube is right around 1200. We split it in half and then draft from half.
All right, hold on a second. I need to go here. And you go to.
And then my vintage cube is 948, I think.
Nice. 940. Those are pretty huge.
They're good size. The vintage cube is powered. So.
Oh yeah, mine's not nowhere powered. The most powerful card in it is probably Soul Ring.
I mean, Soul Ring is still one of the top 3 picks, even in powered cube. So it often beats out the Moxen. It doesn't really beat out. The order generally tends to be Time Walk, Black Lotus, Soul Ring, and then Ancestral Recall
Ancestral
for
Recall.
pick order.
Yeah, I'm too broke for all that jazz to be like being invested in that.
I still have mine from the early '90s. So
I know I wasn't playing until 2005.
oh wow, yeah.
So like I got in when Mirrodin was a problem, and I got invested into the game when Ravnica came out. So Ravnica was like my flagship set to get into. Then that's why I'm excited for this Ravnica remastered block. It's because it's been around. I've been to every Ravnica pre-release,
Nice.
so far.
The Ravnica was the first pre-release that my wife top 8'd at. That was back when we were having like the 600-700 player tournament pre-releases.
Nice.
I'm in North Carolina, by the way. I have no idea what area you're in.
I'm in Iowa.
Iowa, okay. It's a fun state.
You
You guys have primaries coming up pretty soon, don't you?
I think so. I have no clue. Oh yeah, voting. Yeah, all that junk mail we've been getting in the mailbox reminding us.
The Iowa caucus is pretty important. But yeah, I taught my wife how to play during the Kamigawa pre-release, Champions of Kamigawa pre-release, and then the first one that she actually top 8'd at was Ravnica. So,
Champions of Kamigawa, that block was a fun block to play.
It was a fantastic block. It got so much hate at the time, though.
Well,
coming off of Mirrodin, it was
weird tribal. That's what made it weird. But it fit so well with the standard environment at the time.
Oh, it was a fantastic standard format.
Yeah.
Both Mirrodin Kamigawa and Kamigawa Ravnica. Oh, some of the best standard that's ever existed.
And my nemesis, the Jite. Uzama's Jite. The nemesis of my region.
Yeah.
Like I could never find one at the time. It wasn't that it wasn't affordable, but finding a copy back in the day.
Well, yeah, because everyone wanted Jites and Sensei's Divining Tops. And what's funny is Jites were actually in the Rat's Nest pre-constructed deck.
Mm-hmm.
And what you could do, and what I ended up doing quite a bit, was you could buy the Rat's Nest pre-con deck for $9.99 plus tax, which ended up being it was $10.57 after tax.
Well, that's what happened in our area. Is people
we
were buying the
drove
deck
around everywhere and would buy all of them, and then pull the GTs out and throw the GTs on eBay and sell them for $35-$40, and then use that to go and buy more of them.
That's what people did in our area because I grew up in Utah for most of my life, and that's where I started playing Magic. And people were buying the decks because one deck had the Sensei's Divining Top in it, so people were buying that deck, and people were buying the Rat's Nest just for the Jite, which I didn't remember the name of the deck. But those two decks.
Rat's Nest was the mono black, and then there was a blue, or no, there was a red white one, which was Spirits of Flame, and then there was a green white one, if I remember correctly, and then there was a blue green one, I think.
I can't remember exactly.
There was a blue, or there wasn't a blue deck that year. It was a red green one, and the red green one also had Eternal Witness, which was like $6 at the time. And the with that Eternal Witness, you also had a Sensei's Divining Top, which was like $5. So,
right, but those are good. Those are good pre-cons. Like I even bought the pre-con at the time, that not from the same set, but same era. But I brought the pre-con just because I brought the one pre-con with the Underworld Dreams in it, because that was a hot card at the time.
Yeah, that was in the 9th edition pre-con.
Yeah, which
was the last time they did white border.
Which was sad. I'm like they do these old frames. Can you imagine if they did white borders again for fun?
As someone that has always hated white border, no. Yeah. I bought 9th edition in Russian just to have black border 9th edition.
Oh, don't be wrong. I love the fact that the white border sets had black bordered foils.
Yes, but you also only got like 4 foils in a box.
Right, but I also I'd like to see Like if they ever do white border again, like trust me, I don't like white border very much either myself. But the two best things about white border is one, white border is easier to paint on if you want to alter the card, and two, I'd like to see white border foil.
They have done white border foil.
I have not. I've seen silver border, but not white border.
There are 2 different promos that were done in white border that were also foil, if I remember correctly.
That's possible. Were they judge promos?
One was an arena promo, I believe.
Oh yeah.
I think that's right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. One was the French set that has the Pegasus as its set symbol. I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head. But the foils for that are white border.
So no, nothing's showing me in Google search for that. All right.
Yeah, let me let's see. Scryfall. It's how you can get white border the Elf Lord. What's it called? One green Elvish Archdruid. View all prints. No, I am wrong about that. It's the other Elf Lord. What was the Elf Lord in Invasion?
Champion?
Elvish Champion?
Yeah, I think so. There we go. Yes, and it was white border foil in the promo pack, the promo box. When you bought the disc set.
Yes, the 8th and 9th edition sets had one, or the 9th edition one had one. That's it.
Yeah. I'd show people on screen, but there's just a lot of mess going on. All right, but anyways,
Salvat. That was the name. That was the name of the set. It was the Salvat set.
all right.
The foils from that are Salvat 2005 and Salvat 2007 have white border foils.
That's pretty cool. yeah, there's a few of them. All right, but we got to wrap up for the day.
All right.
We've been on a little bit longer than normal because I've been enjoying talking to you. That might be a problem. I'm kidding. All right, but I want to say thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you for being amazing. Don't forget to check out Kaaren's Aartopia and Tabalt's Apprentice. You just showed up at the very end. Sorry, but don't forget to.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron